So welcome. This week, we're talking about site visit videos, making a video that simulates the process of someone visiting your factory, or your office, your facility. And the big question that's being answered here is how many people have ever actually come to visit you face to face? How many people in terms of potential investors, potential customers, potential vendors, potential hires, how many people have made the trek over to go see what you're doing? How many will ever do this? And the reason you're going to do this, but the reason this is important is we need to build trust. We need to have trust in what you're doing, because when we just take the investing lens, investors are all about trust. That without trust, there is no investment. And what I mean by trust is that they have to trust you, the team, and not just you, the founder. They just don't want to talk to you for a few hours on the phone, right, or over Skype or Zoom or whatever, and gain your trust that way. They actually want to meet your whole team. When they meet 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 people, when they see people actually working, that builds trust. They want to see the impact. Yeah, you'll see when we talk about the chicken basket video. In the midst of that video, I'm talking to their customers and I'm interviewing their customers. That builds trust, because those were totally impromptu interviews. That was showing the impact of this business. It's trust in the odds of success, right? The business part of the analysis, the due diligence of your company to see if your business could succeed or not. Well, when you see it, when you as an investor or they as an investor see the business, you can tell. You can just see when a company is well run. You can see when a transaction's happening, if it's being done in a very professional manner or not. You can see if there's a mess around. You can see how things are going. You can build trust just in looking and watching what's going on in a business, for an hour. And ultimately, in the midst of this global pandemic, we have a bigger question, which is when nobody can travel, how on earth are you supposed to build this trust? Even in a normal year, the investors are spread out around the world, the customers are spread around the world, and therefore trying to build trust even in a normal year is really hard, because they're probably not going to come to you. So since you can't expect them to come to you, the easiest thing to do is to create an experience for them that is as close to first time visit as possible, as close to their experience that they would have if they just walked in your front door and you said, "Oh, would you like a tour?" and you walk them around. So here's an example. Last year in September, I did get on an airplane and I flew to Tanzania and visited with 2 of the fledglings there. Spent the day driving around, chatting with them. And then the next day, flew to Nairobi, Kenya, and met with, 15 entrepreneurs that I taught for a week. But none of them actually were in Nairobi, so I couldn't see any of their companies, just them personally. Totally different experience. And then when that was over, I flew on an airplane to Kisumu, Kenya, met with a fledgling. We'll talk about that video in a bit. And then the next morning, it was at 5:30 a.m. I got picked up by a van, and we drove for 5 hours across the border to Uganda, to Tororo County, which is right across the border from Kenya. And when I got there, we visited 4 companies, 3 fledglings plus 1 more. And if you go online and you watch these videos, hopefully you'll get the experience that I got of just walking in there, basically down their driveway and seeing it for real. Right? So a few things about this video. This is a screenshot from YouTube. 285 people have watched this video of my visit to Green Charcoal Uganda in Tororo. Right? 285 people who would never trek all the way over there. This is a part of the world that is 5 hours drive from Kisumu, which is itself, an hour flight from Nairobi. Or it's 6 hours drive from Kampala. It is what we'd say off the beaten path. And so there's a whole bunch of investors who have put money into Green Charcoal Uganda, right, through Fledge or side Fledge, and none of them have ever actually been there. None of them have met Joffrey in person. All right, and also notice that it's only 12 minutes long. It's 11 minutes and 50 seconds long. So people who watch YouTube videos, we know, because we have huge stats on this. We know that people, when they're sitting down to watch a YouTube video, are only going to watch 5 or 10 minutes. Right? 5 minutes if it's not terribly compelling, 10 minutes if it really sucks them in, but almost no one gets to the end of the video. So when I talk about producing a video, I'm not talking about producing an hour-long video or 45-minute video. I'm talking about producing something that is 5 or 10 minutes long.